My name is Mark. This is Kylie.
Hello.
Renzo.
Yuri.
Tell us about what you're doing here. What was going on outside that you were working on for Dr. Villiers?
So this is a lab. It's a PCC lab, which is Portland Cement Concrete Lab. So it's a lab. It's a PCC lab, Portland Cement Concrete Lab. What we're doing here is we're testing our concrete mixes with aggregates and cement. And that's to get an idea of the strength of the mix and how it's going to last. What we did is we took a mix amount to fill it's generally about like a yard, square yard. But what we're really doing is it's a smaller amount. That way we can get the weight ratios by taking the different number of cylinders, and then we can test these cylinders at different periods of time.
What's the goal of testing them?
The goal is to understand how the concrete will hold on different load conditions. So this is a recycled concrete mix, RCC. And what that is crushed recycled concrete that's been used in previous situations, so around in the USA. So this is all from Florida, I believe. And we retest that in our mix to see how it's going to hold up in a new mix after it's been recycled, and see if I can use that in actual applications.
Anybody else want to inject information?
Yep, we're basically using recycled material, maybe from like old bridges that were broken down or buildings that were falling down, and we're using that concrete and trying to mix it with cement and see how that compares to strength to using an actual correct coarse aggregate. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, at first the first thing we do is there's a procedure. The first thing we happen to put in there is the coarse aggregate and then the admixture, and then we go for the fine aggregate, and then we mix in the cement and then the water. And the water is like the main influence for our slump, which we test, because our entire goal for this lab is going to have to be for overall quality. We want the ideal mix between everything that we put into our concrete.
Also, these cylinders will be tested for after 7 days, 14 days, 28 days, and
50.
And 57 days, I think.
Throughout those days, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So after 50 days, it gets really,
Yeah,
really
because
strong.
the reason why you test after a longer amount of time is to see how it's holding up at the different stages of curing. I mean, when we started with our coarse aggregate, that was aggregate that was soaked for 24 hours. That's in order to get the absorption in, so it absorbs all the water. And when we put our water in, we want to take into consideration that as soon as you put that aggregate in, it's going to take some of that water right away. So that'll count for the slump, and that's all things that it's going to, depending on how saturated it is, it's going to affect how it's going to cure. So it's important to get different time periods on there.